So, what's up, fellow people of Monkey Man's Jungle League, or what should I say, fellow people from the jungle, or fellow apes, fellow gorillas, or whatever you want to be. As you can be everything you want to be in our jungle, because we are some people. So, he's an irrelevant vision. Kradix, my friend, hello, and hello, Susuni. So, we're starting with Susuni, no, just kidding, we are starting with Usugi. Yeah, you had Regency Council for 13 years. Oof, that's actually a rage quit moment for me, TBH. So, you were starting with Usugi, played by Surkis, if I remember correctly. Well, it's actually an okay-ish expansion, like he's doing one without taking loans. Currently taking Oda, will probably take parts of Amago as well, and Takayama will probably stay, while Ito and Ashikaga will probably also stay. I think he should be able to unite it in like 5 to 10 years. And then we'll have a pretty good Japan, I guess. Like this is like in a 6 or 7 out of 10 nation. I think it's better in this patch to do it way faster, but I haven't tried it with these mercs, so I cannot reliably say if my take on that one is correct. I'm a bit odd that he's not stating, but that's up to him, I guess. Hello Gerardo and hello Zebu as well. Not pushing for the Renaissance, 2 ideas and quantities. It's like an okay-ish nation. The problem is that his ruler died, because the ruler of Isugi is actually kind of good in the early game. So I think the nation still has a lot of fire left. So guys, as I am not having a Scantabek yet, I would... Oh, we actually have Valorous is retarded as always. I will check for the players. I would say I don't really know which nations actually got played in the end, so I will try to do as many nations as possible. Let me reopen this live streaming thingy. There's Scantabek already, Gerardo. I was just too dumb to see it. Oh no, I actually unpaused. Kekwe! I need to reload the save. I think Manchu was actually played. Sure, Manchu left. Okay, that's what I thought from seeing it. Khmer, Nepal. I will actually have a rant about the Nepal formation. So, Manchu's actually in a pretty good spot from what I'm seeing. 17.76 income is pretty good, like as not expanded into Korea. I don't know if Korea is player control, but I would actually argue it's not worth it to go into Korea early on, because that's usually that's usually a big waste of manpower early on. Do you Manchu actually have banners? They don't. Kekwe. They actually have decent ideas now in 1.30. We can still push quite a lot. Like this general is actually pretty good for 4. So for tribes you have the primacy of the bannerman, which is like a 10% morale of armies thingy, which is like totally retarded. Like I unironically think that the hordes and like the entire estate rework that was done in 130 is the worst thing that ever happened to EU4, and unironically I think it's horrible, because it removed the like micromanagement aspect and made it easier, but at the same time made it harder and ruined some aspects of the game. There's certainly a lot more people that have a better opinion about it, and more well-talked one, but I actually think that it needs some rework. Like it was just rework, but I just think it's bad. Like it's 3-3 6 tech for Manchu, so he's behind an admin and dip. I don't really get why he's behind in dip, but well, I cannot really see something that he daft. So yes, and as we all know, I'm a dumb walrus, and I just saw that Shenyang was not developed. Kekwe was used to push the Renaissance. That's actually a pretty smart one, even though the province is ruined for forever. Once you build the workshops, that will actually be a pretty ooga booga one. Let's actually try to check how that's looking. Because this one is actually a pretty ooga booga one. Yeah, 0.5 wonder cuts. This will actually be an insanely good province later on in the game. Like, Susuni actually moderate the chat if you're here, Kekmo. So, I would actually say that's Manchu. Considering the circumstances, and I have seen pretty strong Manchus lately played by the wrong, I would actually rate this nation around 5 out of 10. So, Shu is the other nation left in China. I think Shu starts in the most retarded area of China. Like starting in the Chinese culture group, which is like really, really good. You have to double check that, TBH. I think the ideas of Shu are actually also pretty good. Like, you have 15% goods produced, you have 5% morale armies, 10% morale. Like, I think these ideas, if I remember correctly, are the ideas of Nitara. Yes, as you can see, some parts of the missions are well done. I think they were actually they're actually pretty good. I think it's a pretty interesting tree overall. So there's some stuff here that I just say it's pretty pointless. But there's also some stuff that's actually pretty cool. I won't go over that much because I think it is actually not 100% the best to talk about something that I didn't put time into. So that's pretty much it for China. So next nation I'm taking a look at is Khmer. So let's take a look at the last MJL campaign where we will probably have an relevant Indochina and Indonesia, because the next patch is looking horrible. Borderline unplayable in that area. 25 to gods, that's actually pretty sick. That's actually pretty sick, not gonna lie. Sick amount of trade. You are Theravada, which is something I would not recommend. But I guess you will change at one point. No, you're actually staying as Theravada. Is Theravada actually buffed? Yeah, I think it's actually buffed quite a lot in this one. So that's actually alright. Tongus, Sakatai, Prom, and Champa are your tributaries. That's actually pretty nice. Like, I think you have pretty easy path of expansion. Khmer ideas are actually semi-decent. They're like a formable though, so maybe form a certain country at one point. So, who's like played in Indochina here in that area? Like, it looks like Majapahit. So we're talking about Majapahit. I would actually say this is like a 7 out of 10 Khmer nation. Certainly better than the ones I've seen before. No Renaissance yet. Oh, like, it's actually played by Zebu. Oh, like, I'm actually impressed, Zebu. Very, very impressed. Very cool. So much Bahit 444 ruler. 21 income. Oh, you started as Ayut, and then you released and played as Khmer? Question mark? Or did you... Oh, Khmer is the formable in the mod. Oh, Jesus Christ, you see how much time I've spent doing this, helping Monkey Man and stuff, people. Oh, exploiters. Like, I think these are the new ones, if I remember correctly. From 1.31. Yeah, like, expansion looks alright. I'm questioning you why you haven't taken the gold mine yet, which I think is a mistake. Otherwise, expansion looks good. Like, for 26 years, like... I think that's a 6 out of 10 nation as well, again. What the actual flying fuck is this? Jesus Christ. So, let's start with the Nepal rant. So, I want to point out some things about playing in this area. I have played 2 times in India. I've played Jaunpur and I played Bengal, and I would say my nations were probably one of the better ones in the history of U4 top nations in India. For MJL standards, of course. So I would say that I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to India. India certainly has one idea which is lacking in most nations. This is death cost. Which nation has death cost? Well, it's Mewar and it's Bengal. Bengal has one of the best sets for build-up in all of India. While I think that you should have always considered the Nepal formation, you could have just unstated or whatever you did, because I actually don't think you culture converted enough shit here as I thought. And just did primary culture for Nepal and then stay as goddamn Bengal. I think you ruined your entire build-up, and I think it would hurt you and bite you in the ass a fuck ton later on. You have 30 income. Your income is batshit insane. Like, it's really, really good. And it would have been so much better if you would just not have tucked up some things. Like, you are 3, 4, 6. You're behind in admin by a fucking large margin. You're behind in dip as well. You're playing in one of the areas of India. I consider Bengal the best Indian nation besides Jaunpur, because I think it's easy and really strong to play. You didn't expand in that area that much. You got Arakan, and once you integrated that, that's also pretty interesting. You dev the institution. Why everyone, their mother is deving institution. I don't really know why you dev it here, and you can just dev it in Gorgarat, which is 100% the better take. Like 100% the better take. So, like, this nation is still looking good, don't get me wrong. Like, it's looking really, really nice and everything. Sees land. But, man, I just need to say that this nation could be way better. Like Gouda is also a province you can do it, of course, because you get it a bit cheaper, but Karagat is also in the same state as Gouda, and Sig is worth more than paper, so it's better. Like, Goragat is the best province to dev as Bengal. Gouda is not even the capital anymore, and even then it would be like in this state. Yeah, like, it's... Don't get me wrong, it's a good looking nation. It's like a 6 out of 10 nation, but I think this nation would just cry about the fact that it has formed Nepal in 1 or 2 sessions. Like, it's just looking like a misplay to me. Like a big one, actually. Delhi. How many times do I see Delhi's do not do this one? And then culture shift to Punjabi. Like, most Delhi players always tend to forget that, but I think you started as Jaunpur, which I can easily just check. We are using the show timeline feature, and yeah, you did. And I think you wasted a lot of points with not insta integrating Syrian. You could have just culture swapped to Punjabi, and it would be so much better. Like, Sunni is actually a decent nation with the mod. There's a decent nation, decent religion. I think it's other dog shit in vanilla, but I think it's probably one of the best religions in the game with the reworks. And I think it's actually good because I actually think Sunni is horrible and Shia and Ibadi are pretty good. So the expansion is pretty good. Overall, I would probably say it's a 6 out of 10 nations. I've seen better Delhis in the last campaigns. 32 income, it's a bit low. Jaipuri ideas capped. Because it also has staff cost. One of the best ideas in the game. Going quantity. He has been fighting Timurids almost the entire session. Like, Jesus Christ. Like the nations are looking way too intact for that. Like, you have 6 loans. It could have been different stuff done, I think, like this Timurids or like this Karakayanlu was AI controlled, if I remember correctly. It's looking better like most players, not gonna lie. So take Bamanis. So like Bamanis is actually looking way better if you check Diplomat mode. The only real way that Kaladi and got so big. Like it got a bit too big in my eyes. I think you will need way too long to mostly integrate that. Cuckoo was a player. Like, I think the Bamanis expansion was great, but I think you should not have given that much land to Kaladi. He's also already on admin 6. Like, what the fuck? Why are you on admin 6? You are already 4 ideas into quantity, so you're probably going for a push for economic ideas. I actually think your nation is looking great, especially with the advisors. Even though I think could do some other stuffs. I think that's actually a 6. Oh, that's actually a 7 out of 10. You made a mistake. Oh yeah, the morale mission. Yeah, let's not talk about it, Crediax. I think you prefer to press +1 unrest anyways. So Mavar. It's looking alright. It's having the most income out of fucking India. Like, this is such a joke. Like, this should never ever be the case. But yeah, it's Deft Gold Mine. It's killing Malva. Like this nation is looking good again, but man, like I'm cringing at some parts. Like, why the fuck? What the fuck? Why the fuck are you using? Like you're already pushing for this. Like, you're batshit insane. Like, holy hell! Like, you're all going for like a full Hackbox game in India. Like, you're playing 20 ducats on advisors in 1470 with a total income on 30 ducats. Like, this is insane. Like, you can still build great workshops, one great workshop and some good stuff. Like, your nation is in a great spot, and I actually think this could be one of the first, if not the first, actually strong Mavars. Like, this could actually be like, you could push for economic ideas than that a bit, because like most of his land is sadly batshit bad, but you can like, easily conquer one, which is good, and then you can just go here and take land in Delhi and kill Delhi and from Rajputana, which is like pretty great. Like, these Mavars actually looking good, 7 out of 10. From what I've heard, Timurids have died. Kakwa. So we're gonna take a look at Uzbek, which is played by Gazer. It's bankrupt. It has low crown land. It has 100% tribes. It's doing 4 ducats. Well, I've certainly seen nations that have been more dead, but this looks dead. I'm not going to waste time. So, Karakayanlu. 433, good expansion, 433, 12 income, bad income, no ideas, tech behind, 446, only 1 advisor, Well, I should say the Timurids are dead. This nation will be in a good spot. But I feel you're more or less alive because you're allied to Muscovy and Mamelukes, and Timurids died. Then the fact that you played strong enough, like, the nation is looking alright as a 4/10 nation. Like, let's not get ahead to ourselves, but we've seen better Karakai on loose. Certainly one of the weaker ones I've seen. Like, you need to fix your economy, which is like just this slider. It's actually pretty easy to do. That's pretty much a fix for a country. So Commandante is bankrupt. Like, the nation is in a great spot. I don't really think that Commandante is in a horrible spot like he's saying. I think just Commandante has a horrible take on what is horrible in the game. He has pretty much a free roam formation. He has pretty much a fucking free Middle East. Ethiopia didn't go to kill him for duck knows why. Like, I don't get why the hell Mamelukes did not have been killed by Ethiopia. I think that's just a mistake. Like, this nation is looking good. Like, holy fuck, it's a 556 ruler energy, which is pretty young. Like, what the fuck is Commandante smoking saying this nation is bad? He should just give me some of that stuff. And I think this nation is like 6.5 out of 10. Of course, it went bankrupt. But, like, this is a fucking free game. Like, just eat all of that and just sit in death. Like, you're looking so good. Don't really get why you're making that nation look so bad. Oh, you're getting civil war. Like, this is avoidable. Like, you can still avoid this, I think, with events and stuff. So, Ethiopia, 34k. Gold mines do look correct. Yeah, that's 9 and that's 10. Oh, that looks good. Good expansion, good income on the one hand. Yeah, good on the advisor side. VPN and admin, but that's more or less due to the expansion. Let me check where he actually def the Renaissance. Probably in one of the gold mines. Oh, so I think he actually got it shared. No, he defed it in Ausa. I guess pretty good expansion. He's bordering Batua now. He should just kill off Batua. Then you realize that these goddamn gold miners in Batua do have a fuck ton of cash and are really strong. Soon you're actually golfing instead of watching the podcast. I will actually spit on your nation so soon. Just kidding, I love you. Yeah, I think this nation is looking like pretty good. Because we are at 1470, I'm not really checking build up that much because I actually think it's a bit too early to check for that. Because most nations had hard wars. So I will just check one thing, and that's the total income on average, which is probably just as I thought. England, Batua. So we are taking a look at Batua. Well, that's actually Zimbabwe. No. Oh, that's Rosaria. Batua is having an insane amount of cash. The nation is looking really good. Like, it's like every goddamn early game Batua. And Batua, as all of you apes should know, and yes, I'm not using ape as an insult, I use it as an honorary compliment, because we're all apes in Monkey Man's jungle. Goddamn, getting a cool gold mine as well. Like, you are making so much cash out of money, out of gold, that you are literally just trying to run as fast as possible to get away from the inflation, because right now you're just making too much inflation. It's just retarded. Like, it would already roll from inflation advisor. And I'm really saying, if you have so much cash, and I'm thinking you're saving up for the institution, like, just goddamn build temples, because you need to get some income going, which is not dependent on your gold. You are literally playing that a bit wrong, I think. Like, Jesus, this name. Like, imagine these nations having some relevant mission tree. Jesus Christ, Paradox. Yeah, like, the nation's looking alright. I think this reform is really good. So you can try to, like, colonize some of this garbage land. If I were you, I would actually undo the settler and do 2 colonies at the same time. It's like 6 out of 10 nation. So let's take a look at Congo. Luango is actually colonizing. That's actually pretty Chad. That's actually pretty Chad. Like, I think Sna's playing it. I think there was a gold mine added to that area. Yeah, here. I don't fucking know the podcast. Like, it's looking like a good nation. Like, it has the same problem it's playing in Africa. Like, it's looking good, but well, it's like just an African nation. Found the Kitara Empire. Like, what are those foreign builds? Boss Hawk Cavalry. Like, these ideas are actually pretty good. But they're kind of hard to get. Yeah, this one is a bit worse, but still pretty good. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Sassoon had a rough time because he couldn't expand early on. It's becoming close to the gold mines. Should slaughter Mali like they should be slaughtered. Get the gold mines, united area in pretty much 30 years, and then just sit around, wank off, and be an awesome nation. Like I cannot really say much because it didn't expand that much. So I will realize that we are coming to Europe. And we should actually start by Hungary. Played by PDZ. I think that's a pretty insane star. I think that's one of the best Hungary stars I have seen. I think it's pretty close to the one I had when I was playing Hungary, which was one of the freest fucking games I've ever seen in my life. He's owning Bosnia, he's owning Serbia as a vassal, he's owning Wallachia, he's owning Bulgaria. he's getting all of this garbage now. Like, he has Janosch, he had Janosch, he has Matthias now. He is going for quantity first. His income is subpar, but this will fix once he gets the Kosovo and stuff. Hond is already at 8, so that's also pretty good. Let's take a look at the cultures. He's not going for the Romania formation. In my eyes, that's a bit sad. He will have Constantinople late game, probably, which is pretty good. I think his nation is looking like a 6 out of 10 nation. Right now will probably be a 7 out of 10 next session. Considering the build-up, he's in a good spot. Like, his nation is pretty good. Way above average nation, as I would expect from PDZ. So let's take a look at Muscovy, -1 step for whatever reason. 32 income, can take well, 6 is 436. Why the hell are you on Diplo 3? I think that shouldn't be the case. Yeah, like otherwise look like your standard Russia. Like there's nothing different. It's a bit behind. Like it's the most standard Russia I've ever seen in a long time. But bam. Yeah, nothing to say really. So that we're not playing with Lithuania. Poland took the 3 PU, which is like interesting. I've seen worse. Holy fuck. Like, for the love of God, don't take something like this. Like, this is horrible. It's horrible. Notes. It has to go with my critics. Like, it lost Silesia because it went a bit Uga with expansion. Thanks to that, it's behind. It's not Ruthenian primary culture. It's behind, let's say like that. Like, it's a 3.5 out of 10. If you would have kept Silesia, this would have been a 5.5 out of 10. Considering we removed endgame tax, you can probably go PLC into Ruthenia, which is probably one of the most retarded things I can imagine in EU4. This is probably on par with the old Poland into PLC into Prussia build that was doable, but probably never used. Yeah, like it's alright. I have seen worse. Certainly have seen worse. Like, he didn't have a death war, correct? So there's no reason to. Also Sweden on the border, which is something, it's a worrying trend long term. Like Sweden is looking. Like sometimes I'm thinking about the fact that I'm playing a video game in a community that is mostly consisting out of people that are older than 18 years old, and sometimes I think that people are overestimating the amount of joy people get from when they see the fact that the ruler, the heir, is named Gustav Adolf Hitlerus, because I actually don't think it's funny. I think it's just insulting to 6 million people who got slaughtered because of the politics of a certain person which is referred to in this name. And I think stuff like this should not be in the game. I think, in my honest opinion, should be rethinking and reflecting on the decision that you are naming your heir like that. And because of that, I'm not going to spend time on your nation. So, Austria. As a good German always tends to say, if you can party, you can work. And I think he put on a good amount of work after he had a party in a certain Czech province and lost 40k. He recovered quite well, probably also thanks to Ash Neodetzintal, to the gold mine. I'm actually not sarcastic, Gerardo. I can crack a joke about it, but sometimes I really think this topic should not be joked around by people who... Sadly, I have read way too much wrong impression about this topic in recent months that I'm not willing to take any jokes on it anymore. Like, it's big oof. Quality Adir started, as I can see, some nations started with quality and most with quantity, so the safer nations took quantity, and the more military focused ones took quality, or war focused ones, which is pretty much these three, and I think this will also be the trend when it comes to that and abusing power spikes. So Austria's expansion is pretty good. He will probably get Erzgebirge and Bohemia states, and I don't really know where he's going afterwards. Maybe Venice or southern Germany. So that's like a 5.5 out of 10 nation. So Dalmatia is like Venice into Dalmatia, pretty standard play by now. Signoria is buffed in this mod. Expansion looks pretty good. We'll probably make the node split into Venice and Genoa, so nothing special. Quantity ideas, I don't really think quantity ideas is the correct take as Dalmatia. I think quality ideas is the correct take, because you are already having high developed lands that you should actually try to expand into more lands instead of taking better dev cost, because I think more is in this case better. Yeah, otherwise like, this is pretty standard. There's nothing else to say about it, so like cannot really say that much about it. Pretty standard looking nation. Florence is also looking like your average Florence, nothing special. Besides the fact that Monkey Man rolled the strict ruler, which is nothing special for Monkey Man. The bonfire of the vanity mission is actually pretty cool. Yeah, but most of that is just it's pretty standard. I always love the flag of Sicily. So Castile is played by God knows who. He won the war against Morocco together with Portugal. Looks like he didn't even bankrupt, which is actually kind of impressive. So considering his tech, I don't even think he bankrupted. Considering he has the Aragon PU, well, it is what it is, I guess. Looking pretty good. 6 out of 10 nation. Will probably prosper and be really strong. So Tunis also got buffed that year, same as Ethiopia. Decent expansion, we'll go to Sicily, like looking like a pretty standard Tunis. 5 out of 10, like most nations are standard pretty much, what I'm seeing right now. Portugal, actually G-leaguing. Danny is wholesome, DAV, I agree, Danny is indeed very wholesome. Pretty standard looking, a bit behind on ideas though. I think the opener was not correct. I think it was done to be so wholesome to Susuni instead. It's like a 5 out of 10 nation. Yeah, France slaughtered Burgundy, England went off on this island. So... Oh, I can actually disable Terra Incognita. Yeah, he pretty much went for the Spice Islands. Yeah, like France has a pretty free kill on Burgundy because England decided to not do anything. While I would probably do the same as England, I will always tend to say that England's always a wanker because he's not doing it, not doing war against France, which is something which is actually pretty exciting once for a while, because I actually think France in this patch is utterly retarded and the best starting nation for death. Sorry for Death Wars. Yeah, France looking pretty sick, but that's actually expected due to Malcolm being one of the best players in the EU4MP scene, having one of the strongest nations in the EU4MP scene, having a friendly England around with the pretty normal deal from what I can see. Free kill on Burgundy, like this nation's having a 5-4 and 4-6, like this nation's looking great. It will be insane. He would just slaughter Iberia or Italy at one point, or even Germany. Like God knows who's going to stop this juggernaut. Like this juggernaut is so strong. He will probably just roll over most people before it's too late. Like 6.5, 6.5 out of 10. So England played by Gerardo is the most income by far, 55 income. From what I can see, this income, like he's actually not even playing the entire opening correct. Like just press this and snowball. Like just try to snowball as much as possible. Do that beforehand. It's a really good. Great looking nation, not going for Ireland it seems, has the Scotland, Vassal, March. Like this nation is looking great, it's just the standard England. England always tends to look great. 2 ideas in economic already. Can just wank off and sit on his island. You press that after Devon Cork and Tech 7. You press that after Devon Cork and Tech 7. I don't really get why you should do that at that point, Gerardo, if you can just do it beforehand and it snowballs you even faster. Up in focus is entirely correct for economic ideas, as this just came up in chat. I just don't think it was correct to not press the 1. Yeah, but yeah, Tech 7 for bronze cannons. You don't really see why this should like you just press this because you snowball, like this is just a snowball click. That's pretty much it. I think it's your pretty much standard echo into quantity into quality, or echo qual explo. Like it's pretty free start. Echo explo quantity, I would recommend going echo quantity explo if you are doing that. 6.5 out of 10 nation. Here has having an chunky coalition for the entire session in the south. Expansion wise it's looking okay. Cockblock by the thingies though. Yeah, it's actually kinda odd. Like this is a, considering the only good Hess I ever saw was all played by Fish, I think these nations are just a 4 out of 10. So, and to end the podcast, I will talk about Brandenburg. I think expansion-wise, Brandenburg got a quite good deal, expanded around 100 at development. We'll also get more parts here, could certainly have expanded better, 565. a bit behind on 2 techs, even though it's already at 5 ideas in quality, which is pretty awesome. I think this nation is more or less a 6 out of 10. Could have been better, should have been better, should have just ganked people. We'll probably expand it quite a lot next session. Already doing 3 ducats in Saxony, which should be a bit higher soonish. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining and see you next week.